We're going to experiment. We're going to come up with something new that I haven't made, but it sure sounds good. I thought of it in the car coming over. And a few boot camps ago, the Colburn family sons attended, and they came here, and after talking with them, about 2 weeks later, I get a case delivered to me of pure maple syrup from Vermont. And we all tasted this yesterday. This is amazing. Now, I've never used it, so we'll play together. And in the car ride coming over here, I thought of, normally it's maple walnut ice cream, but I thought that's what everybody has. So, how about if we make maple crunch and use Heath bar pieces in the ice cream? Can't be bad, right? You know, making ice cream is like making soup, and my grandmother actually did teach me this, that if you just put good stuff in, no matter what it is, you'll get good soup out. And it's pretty well like that with ice cream.
Okay.
So everything I said didn't happen, right? Huh?
Continue, I get Chris.
You sure? Okay.
I always have to do a lot of cutting on yours anyway.
Ooh, I don't get no respect, you know? So once again, we'll start with 5 quarts of this delicious, not frozen ice cream mix. We showed how to do it frozen, if it's semi-frozen yesterday, right? Okay. So we'll do 5 quarts, because that's the capacity of this machine. Hmm? 5 quarts. I usually call them by their right name, 5 quarts. Nobody likes a smartass. Now, in order to create a recipe, I use these. These are just 1 quart plastic containers. And then we just ratio it out to whatever size machine you're going to use or size batch you're going to make. So if we start with 8 ounces of mix and we're doing 5 quarts, give me the multiplication. It's 10, right? Right? There are 4 eighths in 1 quart, and then we're doing 5 quarts, so it's 20, just like I said.
Sure it's not 40.
40?
8 times 5 is 40?
No.
Okay.
What do you think? No. Huh? I'll tell you what, let's start with 8. We'll go simple. We'll start with 8. And you should write this down. Somebody should write this down. So we've got 8, and now we want to find out how much of this we have to add to make it a nice bold flavor once it comes out of there. We don't have to worry about the Heath bar pieces. We'll just estimate that. So 8 ounces of mix and maybe 2 ounces of this. What do you think? What did you call me?
Wait a minute. 8 ounces of mix, that'd be, if you did it by a quart, that would be times, how much did you just put in?
Relax. Let's see.
It sounds like you're going to have an awful lot
So
compared to a quart.
hang on, we've got 2 ounces. There's a method here. And we're going to mix it up, and we'll taste it and see if we like the maple flavor. Wow, that's pretty perfect right off the bat. So, do some multiplication. 8 is 1/4 of a quart. So we multiply it times 4 to get 1 quart. Huh? Right? 1 quart. And now we're using 5 quarts. So what is it? 40 watt. See, that's what happens when you start doing this, you get 40. 40, right, 40 watt. 40 ounces.
Who said that a while ago?
Wait a minute, so it's 40 ounces of what?
Maple syrup, and that's
No,
too much.
no, maple syrup is 2 ounces.
2 ounces to 8 ounces, though.
Right, so it's a quarter.
So it's
So it's a quarter.
2,
So
4, 6, 8 ounces to a quart. That's a lot.
don't worry about it. It was free.
8 times 5 is 40 ounces of flavor.
Hang on. So we've got 4 to 1, right? 4 to 1? 4 to 1. So if we're doing 5 quarts, it's 1 quart of the maple syrup, which is what we thought yesterday. What we thought. It would be 1 quart, half of the bottle. So we're good. So that's how you come up with a flavor. As far as the inclusions, don't worry about it. That's really what you want. Now, this is going to be maple ice cream with an inclusion. So we need a quart of this and 5 quarts of this. We're there. That wasn't very hard, was it?
Can I make a suggestion? Put in half that much, mix it in the machine, taste it.
That's why Steve makes machines and I make ice cream.
All right, who brought you this? I got to ask. Who brought you this? I got a question.
What?
Who brought this?
No, that was months ago.
What is this? What's a quart of that going to cost?
Okay,
You can't afford to make.
aside.
You can't
Step
afford to make
aside.
this ice cream. You can't afford to
so
make it.
glad. And this wasn't a plant, by the way. As we discussed in class the last 2 days, the difference in price for your materials from much less to much more is minimal when it comes out as 6 gallons or 7 gallons of ice cream. So don't worry about it. It's just like using his cheap sugar or his cheap vanilla or whatever it is. Don't worry about it.
You're using a
Because-
quart of maple syrup to make 2.5 gallons of ice cream. That is way too expensive. Really?
No, it isn't. It's just
It's
right.
about $15, $20 a quart.
Yeah, so tell him what's the problem. Right, that's right. See, I teach him good. I guarantee you that when you taste a quart, you'll all feel we might have added a little more.
Oh, I'm glad you're leaving it here. It's going to be outrageous. I'm going to enjoy it. And at these prices, I'm not giving it to any damn doctor.
That's exactly why he didn't want to bring it down here.
Now you want the whole quart.
Pour it in.
Okay, so we'll add a quart minus the 2 ounces. Nah, let's just add the quart. Oh my, look at all that money going down the drain.
Yeah, it's probably more like $40 there.
It's a good thing your vanilla people aren't in charge of maple syrup, right?
You bet.
Ooh. Okay, let's start it up. Our goal here right now is to make the best damn maple ice cream in the world. Right? So let's do it. The crunch. Oh my, this is so, how much is it? Is this too much crunch, Dad? No. See how well we taught them? More is better. I don't know, I don't know.
Just watching you is making me have to adjust my insulin pump. And I haven't even tried it yet.
You gotta love it. So let's say that you spent, just for argument's sake, let's say you spent $10 on the maple syrup. That's not out of hand, is it? Let's say you spent 25. So it's a difference of $15. If it's a difference of $15 and you're making, say, let's say 3 gallons of ice cream, and you're going to get 30 servings, so it's $15 divided by 30 servings, you tell me, is it a problem? It's not a problem.
You were buying maple syrup by the gallons. How much were you paying a gallon?
I don't know, I haven't bought it yet.
No,
This
but
is a half gallon.
in the past you were buying it. Weren't you buying it in the past?
Yeah.
Wasn't it $80 or $90 a gallon?
Hang on, 16.
No, retail.
16 times 4, $64.
Okay.
So you're spending 32, right?
No, it's 20, 40, 60,
Is
20.
our goal to make the best maple ice cream today? If I said to you, Steve, you know, the steel you're buying for these beautiful new knobs, I can get a little cheaper if I use 5% less steel. They'll be just as good. They'll last a whole lifetime, but be just as good. You wouldn't do it because
I have a counter reaction to that. We're going to come out with a solid gold CB350, $1.2 billion, and it'll be nothing like it on Earth. But how many will I sell? It's got to be affordable to sell.
No, that's where I disagree, because if this is indeed the world's greatest maple crunch ice cream, I'm going to sell a boatload of it. So in volume, I'll make up for the extra cost.
No, I'm not buying it. No, because you have a limited market, and
My market is 6.5 billion people.
It isn't. Mystic Ice Cream doesn't have 6.5 billion people coming to it.
With great walnut crunch ice cream, they might. Okay, let's turn it on. I left it go a little longer to mix the flavor of the crunch in with the maple ice cream. It seems to me, and I just thought of it this morning, that it's a natural. What is Heath Bar? It's toffee and chocolate. So toffee, chocolate, and maple syrup. Need I say more, right?
Okay, audience question. Let's see who is listening. If vanilla ice cream takes on average 8 minutes, how long will this take to freeze? Just a rough guess.
Well, maybe 10 because of the sugar.
10 or 12, yeah, because of the high sugar content. The higher the sugar content, the longer the freeze time. Very good, though.
And of course, now, moment of truth. Maybe we have to add more maple syrup. I'm going to add more.
Yes. Doesn't matter which machine,
It's
they
what I
all
would
have the
do
same
in
freeze
my
times,
own
except for this
store.
one is a little
This
bit
is
longer.
exactly what I would do in my own store. I won't cheat your customers.
Oh, I love you. I'm having this for dessert tonight.
I did ask Crystal to bring me some containers and dry ice to take it back with me.
Over my dead body. There's no room in that fancy Corvette for it.
Tell them what I drove here today, guys.
It's just showing off.
Okay, we are looking good. Now I'll give it another taste. I don't think we'll have to add any more. Well, I added another 10 ounces. So we have 42 ounces. We could probably round it off to 45, you know. Now, what would we do if we taste it now and we discover Wow, that's too much maple. What do we do?
Add more mix.
I wasn't asking you.
Gee, I wanted to play the game. Or fire the accountant.
Now that's very good. You're going to like that. So, I'm sure, I don't know this, but I'm sure there are different grades of maple syrup, and I know this is the highest grade. You know maple syrup because you make your own. So, where does Colburn stand on the threshold of high-low price? Got to be high.
It's actually pretty generic, so that would cost you probably $35.
For a half gallon,
Right.
$35.
Probably if you bought it in a gallon, somewhere between 50 and 55.
So what we're saying is it's about $35 in goods in my batch back in the store. Well, that's not unreasonable, right? We did those numbers. That works. Okay.
And it has an extra benefit of after you sell this stuff at a horrible loss, you can always cut off the top and use it as a tin cup.
Anyway, any questions about what we're doing here? Do you disagree or agree? Yeah, of course you agree, because we want, no matter what we're doing, we can't skimp on the final result. The final result, and this is brand new, maybe we'll decide that people don't like it. I don't see that happening, but you never know. Maybe we'll go back to maple ice cream, maybe maple walnut. We don't know. But right here today, what we're experimenting with, you want to be the best. And only then can you make your decision as to whether you'll go with it or not. Yes?
Since you're the ice cream genius, which I acknowledge, and I'm the marketing genius, how about you hold off putting this in the store until December 1st and sell it as some kind of holiday product? Because people think of maple syrup with the holidays and winter, and give it a name.
In last week, I introduced our fall flavors again: apple pie, pumpkin walnut, and now we're doing a few cobblers. Steve has a valid point that doesn't really hold water. It's a valid point, but it doesn't hold water. I feel, even though we're in Florida, since we're in the late fall and we're approaching Halloween, and then comes Thanksgiving, I can't think of a better ice cream than Maple Crunch for that season of the year. In the Christmas season, we have candy cane and we have champagne, so we have those seasonal flavors also. But he makes a point. I wouldn't come out with my pina colada now. That's our summer flavor. Same with key lime pie. Those are summer flavors. And we get rid of them the end of August, the beginning of September. But I think maple walnut and pumpkin and those apple pie type things, I think they're all synonymous with fall, much as we have fall here.
Yeah, and I think the important point is taking them off the market. Up back in New York, up in Jersey, we had Jersey peaches, were really fantastic. They were the last week of August. And I would tell ice cream parlors, make sure by after Labor Day, you take peach ice cream off the menu. People will say, where's the peach? I love the peach. I'm sorry, peaches are out of season. Come back next year. And they'll grumble walking off or buy something else, but they'll be lined up next August to buy that peach because they can only get it during peach season. So you're generating your own demand for something that's not there yet. And it's fantastic. People will wait a whole year for something.
Tell them the story of the mint chocolate chip up in Massachusetts.
What was that?
What?
Huh?
That's where you go there every year and you go in and you want to make sure they have the same mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, but it doesn't apply with your store because you make what you want when you want.
Correct. But I do adhere to the seasonality of certain things.
Yeah.
Because I think, and your reasoning is why I do it. I want to create a demand. I have people opening the front doors, I told them the last couple of days, asking for a certain flavor. If we don't have it, the door closes and they leave without buying anything.
I'm still suffering from, Jeff and I have been bantering like this for years. I'm still suffering from shock and awe because Jeff came in here 2 months ago and handed me a hat that wasn't for Hillary Clinton. and he was the most card-carrying liberal on earth until entrepreneurship struck him. And he is probably the best example of being an entrepreneur now that I can mention. When you look up in the dictionary or Wikipedia, I was going to say WikiLeaks, it would have his name for entrepreneur.
Well, that's because America been very, very good to me. And I got to tell you, if you are thinking about getting in this business, just like David, Jim, he's very nervous about it, but it's a no-brainer. This business, if I can say this on camera, is yours to screw up. It is handed to you as a success. And all you have to do is take that success and be careful with it. Don't screw it up. If you don't screw it up, you too can drive a nice car and live in, have a boat like he does. And see, I didn't get there, right?
No,
I just saw a picture of you captain on his yacht. What's this for?
With the oars.
Right. What's this for?
It was going to be to sanitize, but you'd already done it. It's sanitary
Right.
water.
So you need it?
No. Thanks.
All right. You need this?
Thanks. I'll use that later.
Okay. Any other thoughts about using all this expense in our? You understand, don't you? I know you all understand. Did we add vanilla?
No.
We'll add a little vanilla.
Yeah, it's not his. $260 a gallon.
Oh, let's add more.
How many plugs was that?
That was
4
2 plugs.
In my book, it's listed as ounces, quarts, or glugs. Okay. The way I tell when ice cream is ready, this is an interesting point because Steve pulls his after I pull mine. I always pull it sooner rather than later, and the way I judge when it's done is when you let a little into your tub, if it holds a peak, and that's when I pull it. Steve tends to pull it a little later. Both are okay. There are differences, but both are okay. What you don't want to do is pull it way soon because obviously you'll have soup and you'll develop ice crystals in your ice cream, or much later because it'll tend to be gloppy gummy. When you taste it, it'll, in my taste anyway, gloppy gummy. So I like to pull it precisely when I want to pull it. We're close. You think anyone will line up to try this after that debate?
Are you kidding? They're going to want seconds, and I'm going to be just agonizing over there eating
That's
my
right.
ice cream.
Eat a lot. The more you eat, the less he gets to keep. I'll put out extra bowls.
Now, you saw us do 8-minute batches, and nothing has changed on the machine. We're at 11 minutes, and that's to be expected because of the very high sugar content of the maple syrup. Always keep that in mind. More sugar, longer freeze times. Sugar can be Oreo cookies, like I'm going to do next. It can be chocolate chips. It can be strawberries. All these are different sources of sugar, which will vary your freezing time. Thus, no timer, and you're not supposed to be doing other things when you're making ice cream. Your job is to come in here, make ice cream for 3 hours or whatever, and be finished and be done. You won't make mistakes. You won't wonder if you left out the vanilla, which I always do, or other key ingredients. I'm making maple walnut, and I forgot the walnuts.
Everybody does it.
You stick with it, and you don't talk on the phone. You don't take care of customers. If a friend comes in, you just say, "Listen, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now making ice cream," because this is what your store is judged on. You don't want to be.
And remember that sugar comes in various forms. I use a lot of honey in the store. And honey is just like sugar, so it takes a little longer. But who cares? You saw how I get frost, like this is developing here. ours, when we use some of the adult flavors, they really get caked with ice. But the machine, you can't do that with other machines. One of them has plastic doors and plastic to steel hinges. I always imagine, poof.
A lot of honey, sweetie.
Boy, this is almost ready, and I can't wait. You know, we should not serve it to them.
Yeah, and sell it on the street?
No, you keep it. Or they'll leave, and we'll sit down and get full.
Just dump it quick and then run with it, and I'll start my Oreo cookie.
Right.
They'll never notice.
They'll never notice the difference. Okay, I guess we're almost ready. Almost. Does anybody not want any?
Don't fill up. I'm making a cream ice next.
What we should have done is left some pie shells for this.
Yeah,
Ooh, that would be good.
that would have been really good.
Then you could impress your friends by bringing it over tonight.
Yeah. Oh, I claim everything you make.
I know that. Don't we know that? Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
But I'm.
When you're storing like an
Well, I'll address that in a minute. That's a good. Do you want to repeat that question? Do we store all our ice creams at the same temperature? And,
Yeah, you just answered it, or you just gave the question. Go ahead.
Right. And the answer is no. And I'll explain in a minute. I just don't want to lose my focus here. And I have to think of a good answer.
You want me to start?
No, I'm kidding. Huh?
You want me to start
Start what?
with answering it?
Well, if you think you're qualified.
I'll try. The higher the sugar content, the softer the product's going to be. Now, if you look at the cabinet over here, let me bring this thing over again. Just say it's his Sears chest freezer. This cabinet is wrapped in aluminum because they can't afford copper like I do. This is wrapped all the way around in aluminum. The temperature is, say, 6 degrees, but it's not an even 6 degrees. It's 6 degrees here in the center, but this is wrapped. There's refrigeration here, and then around in the corners. This corner is a colder temperature because the tub's being hit by 2 corners of refrigeration as opposed to the tub here. So it's not all equal. It's warmer here. It's 6 degrees here. It might be 4 or 3 degrees here. So take your vanilla, which has nothing in it but vanilla, and put it at the 6 degrees here. Take this with the tons of sugar or the alcohol, which both are going to tend to run softer, and put them in the 4 corners. Everything will scoop the same. You go to a store and you see the server struggling with one flavor and okay with the other. They don't understand that simple principle of it's colder in the corners than it is in the center.
So that goes for the ices too.
That's right. So the ices, you want to put the higher sugar content. Lemon has got a lower sugar content than cherry. So the lemon would go in the center and the cherry would go in the corner. It's that simple, and it's all the difference in the world because your servers are struggling with one flavor and the other flavor is soft. How is that?
Well, actually, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Ah,
Sorry. Okay, let's
Well,
try this.
it took care of it.
Sammy, come here, girl.